Different communities, for example, professional communities or interest-based communities, are situated to make different unique contributions towards tech development and stewardship. Underlying these contributions are dominant values that are reinforced by the cultures of these communities. Therefore, as tech stewards, it is imperative that we are aware not just of our own personal values, but also of the dominant values within our various communities. By doing this, we can get more of what we want from privileging the values that are dominant in our communities and ensure others get more of their interconnected complementary value, leading to tech that's beneficial for all. If you think about common descriptions or stereotypes for people in your communities, you will likely find clues about common values in those communities. For example, as much as you and I might personally agree with this contention, I've heard many times over the years from different people that they think engineers are smart when it comes to things like science and math, but they just don't have people skills. Reflecting on this, you might say this is indicative of a tendency by engineers to value technical focus to the neglect of focusing on people. Jokes about a field are often a good way to spot dominant values because they're often about someone overdoing a value we associate with the profession. In an interesting paper by Dawn O'Reilly, she analyzes a series of jokes to gain insights about the values of engineers. Here's one example. An engineer and a sociologist were tasked with finding the height of a church steeple. The engineer measured the angle to the top of the steeple and calculated the height using trigonometry. Then, to check the estimate, the engineer climbed to the top of the steeple, lowered a string until it touched the ground, climbed back down, and measured the length of the string. The engineer then compared the measurement to the estimate, calculated the standard error, and drafted a report documenting the methods and results. Meanwhile, the sociologist bought the sexton a beer in the local pub, and he told her how high the church steeple was. Similar to the earlier stereotype example, you could also interpret this joke as being about a tendency of engineers to value a focus on task to the neglect of focusing on people. We would like to challenge you to pick one of the communities that you're a part of and to reflect on its dominant values. If you're a student, we suggest you use your field of study, for example, computer science or anthropology. If you're a professional, we suggest you pick whichever community you think is most relevant to your practice of tech stewardship. In order to complete the reflection, we will consider the same set of typical value tensions that we use to reflect on our personal leanings regarding tech development and tech stewardship. But this time the question is, what is your perception of your selected community's leaning when it comes to the following value tensions? Do you think that your community tends to lean towards providing focus value or ensuring broad benefits? Focusing on the immediate or focusing on the long term? Problem solving or critical reflection? Seizing opportunities or minimizing risks? Blazing a trail or patiently partnering? Deep expertise or broad perspective? Proven approaches or new approaches? Leveraging resources or building capacity? Efficient systems or adaptable systems?